Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly haunting piece of literature. We're looking at Wole Soyinka's celebrated poem, Night. Now, it's so easy to think of darkness simply as an absence of light, right? Just a sort of empty void. But Soyinka flips that entirely on its head. In This Explainer, we're going to analyze this poem as a profound meditation on the overwhelming physical weight of darkness. We're going to see exactly how Soyinka pulls this off through the lens of shifting, heavy nature imagery. It's an incredible journey through the elements, and I'm so excited to unpack it with you all.
Right off the bat, let's look at the very first line of the poem. Your hand is heavy, night, upon my brow. It's such an iconic opening, and it instantly sets the tone for everything that follows. Notice how the darkness is personified immediately. It's not just a shadow, it has a hand, and that hand is heavy. It's pressing right down on the speaker's brow. The night is this tangible, physical force that you can literally feel bearing down on you. It's an aggressive, dominant presence right from the very first syllable.
To understand how this heavy darkness takes over, let's trace the poem's elemental journey from the top down. Section 1, The Descent, focusing on the sky and clouds.
So right away, Soyinka sets up this huge contrast between the natural world above and the speaker down below. The speaker says, I bear no heart mercuric like the clouds, to dare exacerbation from your subtle plow. High up in the sky, the speaker is first confronting the night's creeping dominance, and there's this raw admission of deep vulnerability. The night is described as a subtle plow. It's slowly, methodically digging up the sky and pushing its way forward. But the speaker's heart, it's already too heavy. It can't resist.
Let's pause on a really specific word choice here, because it is absolutely crucial to understanding the speaker's state of mind. Mercuric. It basically means being subject to sudden or unpredictable changes, being volatile or lively. So the key takeaway is that the speaker is saying they do not have a mercuric heart. Unlike those lively, shape-shifting clouds that might playfully dance with the fading light or resist the night's plow, the speaker is already completely weighed down. They are static, heavy, and totally unable to fight back against the creeping dark.
As the night continues to fall, our focus shifts downward to the coastline in Section 2, the submersion, the sea.
Down here on the water, we see a kind of visual battle taking place. We're given the image, woman as a clam on the sea's crescent. The imagery shifts away from the vast open sky down to the sea's crescent, and it introduces a very quiet, highly defensive posture. Think about what a clam actually does when it senses danger or a shift in its environment. It snaps shut, right? It completely seals itself off. This is our first real hint of the natural world trying to instinctively protect itself, closing up tight against the overwhelming dark.
And this illustrates exactly why the natural world is retreating. Think about the sea's natural, beautiful fluorescence, that glowing light suspended right in the water. Now contrast that with what the night is doing. The poem tells us, I saw your jealous eye quench the sea's fluorescence. The night is personified once again, but this time not just as a heavy hand, but as a jealous eye. It's an active, almost malevolent entity that strikes out to literally quench or snuff out the ocean's natural glow. The night doesn't just happen to arrive. It actively attacks the light.
Just look at the sheer volume of natural elements getting systematically overwhelmed here. The darkness is absolute, and it is all-consuming. It takes over the sea's crescent, it snuffs out the glowing fluorescence, it dances forcefully on the rhythmic, incessant pulse of the waves, and finally it engulfs the very sands beneath the speaker's feet. Everything dynamic and alive about this coastline is just being swallowed whole by the weight of the night.
With the coastline conquered, the dark pushes further inland. Section 3, The Enclosure, Earth and Forest.
The poem tells us, and I stood, drained, submitting like the sands, blood and brine, coursing to the roots. The darkness is physically penetrating the earth now, and the speaker is caught right in the middle of it. The speaker is entirely drained, essentially merging with the landscape itself. It's this powerful, almost terrifying surrender. The ocean's brine and the speaker's own human blood are pulled downward, coursing deep into the roots of the earth. The weight of the night is so immense that it's literally pushing the life force of both the speaker and the sea underground.
Okay, what Soyinka does next is, honestly, structural genius. He balances literal nature, night raining through dank leaves, directly against figurative emotion. He paints this very real, highly physical picture of shadows falling like heavy rain through wet foliage, but then he connects it straight to the speaker's mind. Sensations pained me, faceless, silent as night thieves.
He is masterfully bridging the external environment with the speaker's internal emotional state. The physical darkness of the forest creates this creeping, silent pain within the mind, stealthy and dangerous as a thief in the night.
To really get a feel for this scene, listen to the incredibly tactile vocabulary Soyinka uses to create the texture of the darkness. The shadows aren't just dark, they're serrated shadows, jagged, sharp, almost like they could cut you. The environment is thick with dank leaves, giving us a heavy, wet atmosphere. Then you have this warm suffusion of dappled cells. This vocabulary makes the darkness feel uncomfortably physical. It's sharp, it's wet, it's suffocating, and it is completely surrounding our speaker.
But then we hit this massive pivot point in the poem. Up until now, the speaker has basically just stood there, absorbing this sensory overload, submitting to the terrifying, heavy beauty of the natural world. But suddenly, the tone shifts drastically, and we have to ask, why must the speaker hide? What changes so suddenly in the darkness to trigger this kind of desperate reaction?
To answer that, we leave the physical world behind and enter Section 4, the aftermath, the vulnerable mind.
We've zoomed all the way in from the sprawling external elements of the sky and the sea, straight into the isolated, terrified human psyche reacting to the dark. The speaker cries out, "Hide me now. When night children haunt the earth, I must hear none." The darkness isn't just a shadow cast over the sea or the forest anymore. In the speaker's mind, it's become a reproductive force. It's actively giving birth to night children that haunt the earth. The terror has shifted from the physical world to the psychological one, forcing the speaker into a desperate mental retreat. They are literally begging to be hidden away from what the darkness has unleashed.
As that panic really sets in, the environment becomes completely disorienting. The poem continues, "These misted cell will yet undo me, naked, unbidden." The sharp, heavy reality of the night has dissolved into these hazy, confusing, misted cells. And this disorientation? That's the final straw. It threatens to completely break the speaker down, or undo them, leaving them entirely exposed to whatever unseen forces are lurking out there in the blackness.
Let's look at exactly how vulnerable the speaker is at this climax. By the end of this incredible elemental journey, the sheer weight of the dark has stripped the speaker of absolutely all their defenses. They describe themselves as undone, completely naked, and unbidden, which means they're there without invitation, entirely out of place and unprotected. All of this culminates at the exact moment of the night's eerie midday birth. The transformation is totally complete. That heavy hand of the night from the opening line has successfully crushed every single physical and psychological barrier the speaker had.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Soyinka's brilliant use of nature imagery isn't just about describing a sunset. It's a deep exploration of human fragility. This haunting poem leaves us with a really powerful, lingering question to consider. Is it the heavy, elemental night itself that terrifies us, with its serrated shadows and quenched oceans? Or is it simply the naked, unbidden vulnerability that the darkness reveals within ourselves when all the light is finally stripped away? Take some time to think about that one. I hope this closer look at Soyinka's profound masterpiece has given you a whole new perspective on the dark. Thanks for learning with me today.